Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to continue the Time Vulnerable DeFi series, Challenge 6 Selfie. It's another flagship project, but it's going to be different. Today we are going to talk about governance and see how we can take advantage of governance and take all the 1.5 million DFT token from the flash loan. Let's jump into the contract. The flash loan itself is actually pretty simple over here. The first one is we check the token we specify is the right token, so you cannot borrow the wrong token. And then we transfer the token to the receiver, which is a contract. And then we call the receiver contract, expecting the receiver is going to return the, not return, but use it, whatever you use it, but we expect on flash loan function to do approval so that in line 63, we can transfer the money from the receiver, because without the approval authorization, it's impossible to transfer the money back. So we don't expect on flash loan to send money back directly to us. We are going to transfer by ourselves, but on flash loan, need to give approval. But inside on flash loan, you do whatever you like. You use the money whatever you like, but as long as you give the approval afterwards, and so we can take it back. But you need to return this function, not function, this 4 bytes hash callback success, which is defined right here. It's a constant. Okay. So but there's also emergency exit in case this flash loan is hacked. You can call this function, the governor can call this function to take all the token away and send it to a specified receiver. But this is only callable by only governance, which is specified here. So the caller has to be the governance protocol, which is this contract. Okay, only called by simple governance. What does simple governance do? To voting. The word for governance means not a one-man show, but you have to have voting. And the voting is based on how many tokens you have. So over here, who is have a say over here? Well, you need to have more than half of the tokens. Then you will have enough to vote. Okay. So you have to take up half. So then, of course, you don't have any token right now, but you can borrow it, use a flash loan so that you will have enough votes. I'm just giving away the hint right now. And then once you do that, you have enough votes, then you can execute the Q action. So what does Q action mean? The Q action means you are able to propose what you are going to do. So you are able to pass this line, you borrow money, and then you can specify the target. Target means which contract you want to call. And of course, you want to call the other. So you're going to specify the target is the not this target. The tag target is the flash loan contract. So you're going to pass your flash loan contract over here. And then you have also a call data. Call data is encode which function you are going to call. Okay. So one way to encode is like this. For example, you can encode with signature. So over here, you specify which function, the signature of a function, then the argument. So both signature of a function and the argument of a function is going to be encoded by the encode with the signature, and that will becomes the data over here. You can put it over here. So both the signature of a function and the argument you include over here. Then you can call using low-level call to call the data to call the other function. Another way to encode is encode with the selector. So this is similar to the other one, but you don't need to provide a whole signature. You just say ERC transfer selector. So this will calculate the 4 bytes of the hash of the transfer function, and then you use the 2 and the amount over here. So this becomes the call data. This becomes the call data. So both way will work, depends on which one you like better. Okay, so once you do that, then I'm jumping ahead a little bit. Then later on, you can call the data over here. So whatever whatever function, whatever method you encode over here, that becomes the method and the argument you're going to call. And of course, you're going to call the target, the contract you want to call. But we need to propose first because this is governance. You cannot just go ahead and call. You have to pass the vote and pass the proposal. So suppose the target is not going to be 0. So that means you do have a encoding over here using API. And then this is a proposal ID. So every time it's going to increase by 1. Over here, increase by 1 in 43. And then once you have the proposal, you're going to pass and save it in a mapping. So mapping basically is a table. Okay. So this is like insert a row into a table with a primary key action ID, right? So action ID is like proposal ID. So with a 5 fields, target, which contract you want to call, value, how much money you're going to send to when you call. Okay, you don't need to send money. And then when this is proposed, and then when this is executed, this is 0 because it's not executed. This value is going to be changed when this function, when the proposal is going to be executed. Okay, the proposal here is called another method with a particular argument at a particular time. So all the signature arguments encoded here. Okay, and then once you have done that, you can say to execution. In this case, actually you cannot execute immediately. You have to wait for 2 days. So in your project, if you want to make it easier, over here you can change the time over here, so you don't have to wait 2 days to execute. This is what we call time block, because usually when you pass a proposal, you don't want to execute immediately. You want to give people some time to. I think there's a word called it's called rage quit. Yeah. So people, if you want to complain for 2 days. So change this to maybe 10 minutes, maybe. Okay, 10. Let's say yeah, change it to 360 seconds. Okay, so you can say 360 seconds. So after 360 seconds, then you can call execute action. So the first thing it's going to do is it's going to check if this proposal is already ready for execution. So it's going to check can be executed. And the way to check that is over here. Number 1, if it's proposed at 0, that means it's illegal. So that means it's not it means it's invalid proposal. Okay, because proposal at is 0. It should not be a proposal at 0, because if you call this queue action, the proposed at is the time when it's proposed. So if it's 0 means it's not valid. Okay, actually it doesn't exist. And then we are going to check how much time we elapsed from since the proposal is proposed. So this is time now minus when the proposal is proposed, then this is the time delta. The delta has to be greater than 2 days. I ask you to change to 360 seconds. And then this also has to be true, means it's not executed before. You don't want to execute it again and again, right? So this is like to avoid the same proposal to be executed twice. You can only execute it once. As a matter of fact, once you execute it, the time is going to be changed. You see line 53, the execution will change the time to the execution time. So in this way, you cannot execute the same proposal twice because the can execute it is going to check that. If you already executed, you're not going to do it again. So then we retrieve the whole data for the proposal. We retrieve the whole row over here. And then we are going to do the execution. The execution is simply called a target, which is the specified contract. In this case, it's going to be flash loan. And then you're going to call and send some money. You don't need to, you can say this is 0. And then here is the most important one. You need to encode. So which one you are going to encode? I would encode to call, I would encode to call this emergency. If I want to steal money, I'm going to go to a self point. This is a target. I'm going to call emergency exit. I'm going to put my address over here, my own address. So in this way, when I call it, I get money. So that's how we take the money away from this flash stone over here. Okay. So afterwards, if it's success, we're happy. If it's not success, if it's success, we return the value, which is returned by the level call, the return data. If not, we are going to send error message. So there are two cases. Is the return data length is greater than 0, that means error message is already in the return data. So I'm going to just revert the error message. The error message start with the offset 20. So we need to add this because in Solidity, the first word, which is 32 bytes, in Solidity, every word is 32 bytes. So it's 32 bytes is a word. So they need to add one word offset because the first word is always the length of the return data. So you start from there, and then you are going to load the return data. So this is actually below the first word, which is the size of the return data. So this is the offset, this is size of return data. So in this way, we revert with the return data basically. Okay. Normally in regular language, we just say return, revert return data, but Solidity, you have to do it in their way. So otherwise, you customize your error message by, there's no detailed error message. We simply say action failed, which is error message with argument proposal ID. So this is how it works. Let me see anything else. Nothing else too much. Has enough votes, can be executed. Get action is get the row, with the primary key, action ID, proposal ID. And this is get the, what is the current action ID now? And this is how much delay we have. You can return that. So nothing else too much. And then don't forget, we have the DVT token. So make sure you also have a DVT token in your project. Probably you're going to use the PP swap project, PP token. So same thing, change PP token like DVT token, but make sure it's going to inherit ERC snapshot. So your PP swap, your token, DTT token, need to inherit this ERC snapshot, I believe. So in this way, you can take a snapshot of the token. Okay, take a snapshot of token. We talk about this, and then you are able to retrieve the balance because here, we are when we check the balance, we have this function. So the governance token, DVT token, or your PP swap token needs to implement this get balance and a snapshot and this function, but this function already are implemented by the ERC snapshot. So all you need to do is make sure your governance token or your DVT token inherit that silver class, and then all you need to do is you can call snapshot, a method called snapshot, then you're going to be done. So otherwise, you can always go back to the previous challenge. I think one of the challenge earlier. It's a reward. Let me check. And maybe it's a reward. Yes. So look at this accounting token. So basically, you need to inherit ERC snapshot. So over here. And then once, if you want to take a snapshot, you call snapshot. And then you're going to take the balance at a particular snapshot, and then like take a picture, and then you are able to pass the majority vote. All right. So I think it's a little bit more sophisticated now because you have to use a flash loan, borrow money, take a snapshot of the balance. Now you pass the majority vote. So you can be the one who propose an action, and the action is called emergency exit. You wait for 2 days or wait for 2 minutes. You call the escape. You call the emergency exit. You take the money away. So that's how it works. So hopefully you can make it work. So have a good luck. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.